Hello, and thank you for stopping by. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when new videos arrive. I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone the other day, and he owned a small mom and pop restaurant back home. And since the COVID has hit, his restaurant went under. He has no way of revamping his restaurant. He has no way of bringing his restaurant back. For him, there is no normal, at least not like it used to be. Now, a lot of people liked his restaurant when it was open, when they could go in and eat. But for some odd reason, they don't really like his restaurant enough to help him rebuild it. And I know people are hurting. I get that. But the ones that are doing just fine, the ones that have enough money to weather the storm, they're acting like, what? I didn't notice nothing. Oh, there was a pandemic? Oh, people suffered. They couldn't afford to pay their bills. Well, I got mine paid. How come you couldn't get yours paid? Those are the type of people that can afford to keep their restaurants open and their stores open. Like if, say, a major retailer got destroyed somehow, they would have enough money through the insurance to be able to rebuild. They would have enough money to come back stronger and rebuild because they've got the insurance money. Now, if supposing you did not have that kind of money, say you owned a small restaurant, or you owned a small convenience store, or you owned a small thrift store or something, and you had to close because you couldn't afford to be open during the pandemic, because they wouldn't allow people to come into your business, and you had to shut because you didn't make enough money to pay the employees that you did have. How do you fix that? Now, granted, the little bit of stimulus money that people had gotten, that was great. That was really good. For people that really need financial help, that was kind of just a drop in the bucket. That wasn't really doing anything of major consequence. Like, I've got a friend of mine, his brother is handicapped, and he's making disability. He's making about $790 a month. That $600 helped him out a lot. It did. But if you have a family and you've got mortgages and you've got bills to pay and you've got a job to try to get to if you can and things of that nature, it's not quite so easy to make that money stretch. That's a drop in the bucket. $600 is not even a mortgage payment. For some, it's not even a rent payment. And I understand both sides. People that own properties, they can't afford to keep allowing people to live for free because they've got bills to pay. And I get that, I do. But how do we get through this if we have enough left over to help our neighbor? Instead of stashing it in the basement on a shelf, why not give the neighbor a little bit that they need that you have that you don't need? This is going on in a lot of cities. The ones that can afford to weather out the storm, the rich folks, the ones that are making billions of dollars a year, are the ones that can afford to just sit there and twiddle their thumbs. Yeah, I know if you're not making another $1 billion, you're considered basically broke, even though you got 20 trillion in the bank. So how do we do this? The new normal is going to be totally different. There's no getting back to the normal. There's no getting back to the way it used to be, any of that. There's none of that. There is none of that. So how do we get that fixed? How do we take care of that? How do we move on and forge ahead? I wasn't very upset when Donald Trump was voted out of office. But I was very upset with how everything came about. Because Donald Trump tainted the elections by saying the only way he could lose is if you cheated. That's like going into a football game at the Super Bowl and you say out loud, or actually before you get to the Super Bowl, two teams, supposing it's the Seahawks and Kansas City. And the Kansas City Chiefs says out loud a month before it's time to play the game, the only way the Seahawks can beat us is if they cheat. Well, you're going to get a lot of Kansas City Chiefs fans that are going to say, yes, that's the only way it can happen. That's the only way that the Seattle Seahawks can win. So whenever the Seattle Seahawks won, because they were a better team and they got more points, people are going to be pissed off because they're going to say the only way the Seahawks won was because they cheated. And then you've got Kansas City that keeps saying that. We won that game. Yep, it was 150 million points to 0, but we won. We may not have had that 150 million points, but we won. It was clear we won. The referee was just helping out the other team. It was a conspiracy. And then you've got a lot of people starting to say that. And before you know it, it's gotten to the point where you don't know what's the truth anymore. Well, the truth is that people are hurting. No matter how much money we give, that eventually has to get paid back. We can't go out back and print money no matter how much we would like to. We can't go back in the back and print money. We just can't do it. But we also need to help people pay their bills. Now, granted, there's going to be some people that will take this money and they will not use it for bills. They will go out to a restaurant or they will buy them something from the store. It is going back into the economy, but it wasn't really meant for that. It was meant to help you take care of your personal needs. I don't have very much personal needs on my own. I have my internet bill. I have my cell phone and internet bill. I have my rent, my utilities. But really, other than that, I don't have a lot of major bills. I keep things to a minimum. Because if I get into a bind, it's much easier to be able to cover that. So I also sock money away in order to have a nest egg during a rainy day. Mom always taught us, Dad too, they always taught me and my sister that put money away for a rainy day. Because you never know when a rainy day is going to be here. It could hit you at any time. So, have you got a rainy day fund? Had you thought about creating one? You don't have to put that much up, $25, $50. Even people on Social Security and SSI and veterans benefits have been able to do that. They get a debit card. You know, you're not really supposed to have more than $2,000 saved up at any time if you're on SSI. But if you get a debit card, you can put money on that and keep that for a rainy day if you need it. So the new normal is going to be totally different. It's going to be not anything like it was before. So how is your normal starting to go? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to give me an idea of how things are going for you, put it in a comment below. I'd love to talk to you about it. Maybe give you a little word of encouragement, which is all I can give, and my prayers. I can't do much more than that. I wish I could. If I ever strike the lottery, every one of my subscribers will get some of that money. Now, if you want to subscribe to my videos, hit the subscribe button right down here so you can be notified when new videos arrive. Also, if you want to give me a word of encouragement, please do so in the comments. Also, if you have an idea for another video, please go ahead and put that in there. I had a gentleman the other day talk to me about doing a video on music, my favorite bands, why I like them, and how my music has changed over the years since I was a kid growing up. Because, you know, I grew up on a farm, and we had country, and we had country gospel, and we had bluegrass. But when I moved to the big city, I ended up liking various other types of music as well. And one of my favorite all-time singers is Frank Sinatra. That's one of my favorites. But I like everything from Chopin to Kiss to Ozzy Osbourne. I like I don't know, James Brown. I like all different kinds of music. So I'll probably talk about that in an upcoming video. Keep an eye out for that. Maybe you can help me by giving me some of your suggestions that you like. Anyway, put them all in the comments below. I'm going to let you go on this note. Remember, make America better tomorrow than yesterday by doing the very best you can today. Have a good afternoon, America, and all points beyond.